We are seeing mixed signs in the COVID-19 pandemic, depending on which number you look at. We might be getting better, or we might not. When you look at the cases detected, we might just be leveling off. Take a look at the dotted line here, the 14-day moving average. Notice how it looks flatter ever since July 20th, the day marked in red when the mask mandate took effect. That's a good sign, but we have to caution you, that is not the whole picture. The percent positivity rate has been above the guidelines for more than 3 weeks now. You'll notice it was low for most of May. It increased somewhat in June, but stayed below that critical 10% marker. But ever since, roughly July 10th, too many tests are coming back positive. To try and spot more cases and spot them faster, the state ordered equipment and kits for rapid antigen testing. 100 machines have arrived, and once the kits and another 100 machines are all up and running, county health units could give people free tests with results in 30 minutes. A major improvement in spotting cases quickly enough for our 1,000 contact tracers to make a real difference. A few healthcare providers are already set up with those antigen testing, and THV11's Marlisa Goldsmith spoke with health experts about how effective these tests are and which test is right for you.
The demand for it has certainly been kind of overwhelming.
Ann Pace is the owner of Kavanaugh Pharmacy, which is one of the only places in Arkansas offering antigen tests.
If time is of the essence, then certainly this is a good option for patients.
From the time your nose is swabbed and then put through the machine, Pace can give people their results in under 30 minutes. The test is about 94% accurate.
But it is pretty unlikely to get a false positive, and it has a pretty low false negative rate.
Dr. Jennifer Dillahay with the Arkansas Department of Health says these tests are almost as accurate as a PCR test, which is the gold standard for viral testing.
The PCR test is looking for the genetic material of the virus that's unique to the virus. And the antigen test is looking for proteins of the virus.
While antigen tests can't be much faster, they also have to be run individually, making mass testing difficult.
PCR tests, you can do a mass testing and collect a lot of samples and run them the next day.
Antigen tests are the better option if you need to get back to work or see family, but it does come at a cost.
We're unable to bill patients insurance, so it is $95.
Pace can also only handle about 40 to 50 patients a day.
So there has been a supply issue. We just last week got another shipment in, but we have no guarantees of when we'll get our next shipment in, and we're certainly going through them far quicker than we can keep up with.
In Little Rock, Marlisa Goldsmith, THV 11 News.
Kavanaugh Pharmacy is offering test by appointment only, and you can head to thv11.com for more information.
Hey, good evening. Meteorologist Scott Covert here. It's hard to believe that today is the first week of August, but it is. Temperatures well below average. Typically this time of year, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 90s with heat indices well into the triple digits, but that's not the case today. Our almanac shows our high temperatures today of 89 degrees. Typically this time of year, we're looking at temps around 93 degrees. Right now, though, our temperatures have fallen down to 76 degrees. Elsewhere across the state, largely in the low to mid 70s. We did track a few showers earlier this evening, but those have since dissipated. And overnight tonight, we're expecting to stay dry. Temperatures falling down into the low 60s. We've got a couple more days of this nice, cool weather before summer returns. Coming up, I'll take a full look at that forecast.
Protesters gathered in front of Brady Elementary School to dispute the state's plan to open classrooms in 3 weeks. We asked one parent why.
We know right now that if they open face-to-face education, that we're going to see a large amount of suffering in our community.
All right, so given what we know about this virus, there will be cases. Given what we know about education and mental health, there will also be consequences for remote learning. Also happening today, Arkansas teachers honked and screamed all the way to the state capitol, demanding the governor stop the reopening of schools. It started at Dickey Stevens Park, where cars lined up for a motorcade. Dozens of cars then made their way around the capitol with signs in tow. These teachers are hoping their voices are heard and the governor reconsiders his decision.
Nobody's holding in-person meetings, but you expect us to teach kids in an in-person situation. How can you do that if the adults can't do it? How do we expect the children to be able to do it? I don't want there to be a misconception that teachers don't want to go back to work. We're working now. We work every day. We're willing to work. We're not willing to risk ourselves, our families, and our children.
Schools reopen for both in-person and remote learning August 24th. The CDC and the American Academy of Pediatrics both recommend reopening schools because of all the support they offer children. But that recommendation is only for places without widespread transmission. CDC Director Robert Redfield says a county should have a positivity rate below 5%. Arkansas's positivity rate has been more than twice that for about 3 weeks now. Bauxite High and Whitehall High have reported student athletes testing positive for COVID-19. One player tested positive in Bauxite 2 weeks ago. Practices were shut down and other players were tested. That revealed another 4 cases. All of them have either mild symptoms or none at all. Meanwhile, Whitehall head football coach Bobby Bolding says one athlete has tested positive. Parents of other exposed students have been contacted and the facility is set for deep cleaning. No information about the student's condition was available, though the CDC reports it is rare for teenagers to have serious cases. A state releases details on 2 graduation ceremonies for the class of 2020. The Jonesboro School will hold its summer commencement this Friday at 7 p.m. The regular spring commencement, delayed from the month of May, will be held this Saturday at 9 a.m. Both ceremonies will be in Centennial Bank Stadium. Guests need a ticket to get in, and you'll be seated in the stands following social distancing guidelines.